Selamat sore Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, selamat datang di acara webinar kita. Mohon bersabar terlebih dahulu, kita masih menunggu rekan-rekan yang lain yang akan segera bergabung. Kita akan mulai 1 menit lagi. Untuk Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan yang memiliki koneksi terbatas bisa juga mengakses di link YouTube channel dari Daya Cipta Mandiri Solusi. Karena kegiatan kali ini adalah kegiatan Daya Cipta Mandiri Solusi. Nanti kalau mau cari melalui YouTube bisa mengakses ke YouTube channel Daya Cipta Mandiri Solusi. Baik, sudah. Kita akan segera mulai acara kita. Apakah suara saya terdengar dengan baik? Baik.
Jelas sekali, Pak.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Ahmad Agus. Ya, jadi kita mulai ya, Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, selamat datang di acara webinar dari Daya Cipta Mandiri Solusi. Dan dalam kesempatan kali ini kita akan membahas tentang Motadata Operation Platform. Nah, Motadata Operation Platform ini adalah merupakan satu single platform untuk memanage IT operation. Nah, telah hadir bersama dengan saya Pak Wewe Dermawan, ini CTO di perusahaan kami. Kemudian ada prinsipal dari Motadata hadir bersama dengan kita, Mr. Ansul from Motadata, and Mr. Kafid, also from Motadata. You want to greeting the first for the audience, Ansul, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session where we shall discuss on how Motadata enables its customers to monitor their networks and get alerted for issues even before they are likely to happen. So we'll be going through this session. Are we good to go? Shall we continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Ansul. Okay, Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan, sebelum masuk ke dalam sesi yang nanti akan disampaikan oleh Mr. Ansul, nanti mohon maaf presentasinya dalam bahasa Inggris, tapi nanti apabila Bapak Ibu ada kendala dalam ingin mengetahui lebih dalam, nanti bisa sampaikan di chat box ya, nanti kita bantu ya. Di sini hadir juga ada Mbak Nurma, jadi nanti silakan Bapak Ibu sampaikan di chat box, nanti kami bisa lihat dan kita bisa bahas dalam pembahasannya. Nah, izinkan sebelum masuk ke dalam sesi itu saya akan sharing sedikit tentang perusahaan kami. Mungkin ada yang belum mengetahui, jadi saya akan share sedikit. Bentar. Oke, jadi perkenalan singkat saja dari perusahaan kami, Daya Cipta Mandiri Solusi atau DCMS. Kami berkonsentrasi di data center, cloud, dan monitoring solution provider ya. Nah, ini Motadata memang merupakan salah satu partner kami yang kita engage dari tahun 2019. Dan kita akan melihat nanti keunikan produk dari Motadata ya. Nah, sedikit tentang perusahaan kami. Jadi kami establish di 2007, kemudian sampai sekarang kita banyak handle produk-produk terkait dengan data center, cloud, dan monitoring system ya. Nah, kalau di produk terkait dengan data center, ya kita berkonsentrasi di infrastruktur dari data center. Umumnya kita pekerjaan-pekerjaan terkait dengan race floor, AC presisi, UPS, ya, dan semua yang terkait dengan infrastruktur data center itu yang menjadi fokus kita. Informasinya nanti Bapak Ibu bisa akses di dayaciptamandiri.com atau ke ruangserver.com ya. Nah, dalam pelaksanaan pekerjaan terkait dengan data center, kami juga banyak berkonsentrasi terkait dengan perapihan ya, perapihan atau retrofit dari data center. Itu sekarang menjadi konsentrasi yang cukup banyak di banyak perusahaan, karena sekarang sangat bergantung dari ketersediaan data center ya. Jadi pekerjaan-pekerjaan terkait dengan retrofit data center, Bapak Ibu bisa kontak ke tim kami. Termasuk juga pekerjaan-pekerjaan CCTV, access door, atau visitor management system ini yang lagi banyak ya sekarang dikerjakan oleh tim kami. Kemudian juga di data center monitoring, ini baik yang wired atau yang wireless sensor itu juga tersedia. Kami pegang produk AKCP, nanti silakan apabila ada kebutuhan bisa sampaikan. Nah, kalau solusi untuk network monitoring ya kita ada beberapa produk, salah satunya adalah PRTG, kemudian Nagios ya, kemudian Motadata. Nah, jadi yang unik nanti dengan Motadata ini satu platform bisa untuk monitoring banyak hal ya, mulai dari infrastruktur, aplikasi, database, log ya, sampai ke IT service management. Nah, inilah unikan dari Motadata yang nanti kita akan lihat. Ya, kami juga ada beberapa produk lain seperti EG, ini khusus di application monitoring. Kemudian di Manage Engine ada IT Service Management ya. Di Motadata sendiri juga ada produk IT Service Management dan ini juga sudah diimplementasikan khususnya terkait dengan helpdesk atau incident management, asset management, dan juga ada kemampuan reporting dan service analytics-nya ya. Jadi IT Service Management-nya pun juga disediakan oleh Motadata. Untuk yang cloud base kita juga ada solusi lain seperti ini, fresh service ataupun layanan cloud ya, layanan cloud. Jadi Bapak Ibu juga bisa menghubungi tim kami apabila ada kebutuhan untuk layanan cloud service, termasuk juga backup ataupun replikasi yang berbasis cloud ya. Demikian juga dengan PowerDMAX. PowerDMAX ini adalah tools untuk membantu kita memonitoring kita punya domain ya, dari kita harus mengimplementasikan DMRC. Jadi ini yang menggunakan produk PowerDMAX. Kemudian SendQuick ya, SendQuick ini messaging system. Dari satu box Anda bisa interaksi dengan berbagai platform messaging ya. Jadi ada WA, ada Telegram dan lain sebagainya. Nah, termasuk juga yang komunikasi yang lama dengan menggunakan SMS. Untuk Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan yang membuat database ataupun membuat tampilan dashboard atau web. Nah, ini kita ada produk Fusion Chat ya. Jadi Fusion Chat ini library komponen ya. Kemudian database management menggunakan produk Navicat ya. Kami juga partner dari Navicat. Kemudian Bapak Ibu yang mungkin di sisi programming, kalau ingin cepat melakukan pemrograman, mereka bisa menggunakan salah satu solusi dari Rapid Application Development menggunakan PHP Runner ataupun ASP Runner. Kemudian untuk Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan yang perlu aplikasi Human Capital Information System, kita juga jual solusi Orange HR Solution ya. Jadi silakan kontak tim kami apabila ada kebutuhan terkait dengan ini. Ya, ini tim-tim yang menghandle DCM selama ini, tim sales. Hari ini tim salesnya lagi ada parallel meeting nih dengan customer yang lain. Jadi hanya ada Mbak Nurma di sini yang hadir ya. Oke, jadi silakan kontak kami apabila ada kebutuhan terkait dengan solusi-solusi yang tadi di atas, dan secara khusus hari ini kita akan membahas solusi tentang Motadata Operation Platform. Jadi satu single platform untuk memanage IT operation Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan semua. Oke, baik. Saya akan langsung saja mempersilakan Mr. Ansul untuk menyampaikan materinya buat kita semua. Okay, Mr. Ansur, you can share your screen and share the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fanky. And thank you, everybody, those who have joined. So today's agenda that we have put in, we'll show you Motadata company's overview and the product being offered by Motadata, common challenges faced by modern day IT infrastructure, critical role of NMS and ITSM, key use cases, case studies, and at the last, we'll try to answer your questions or your queries. So a short on our company. So Mindaway Systems, which is well known by its brand Motadata, is an innovative company behind the award-winning unified IT infrastructure monitoring software platform that is designed to identify complex network problems faster, aiding near 100% uptime of all business critical components. Founded way back in 2010, today Motadata has grown to be Deloitte's fourth fastest growing IT company in India and 34th in APEC. Motadata is all set to reap humongous benefits and pass on to its customers as the digital transformation is spacing up in a highly dynamic technology and business landscape. We are recognized as a notable member of the network monitoring suite. We are an Indian company with global aspiration, having workforce of 150 qualified resources, having customer base across enterprise, BFSI, government, telecom, through our partner network in India, Southeast Asia, SAARC, Middle East, and Africa. We are hungry for growth, and you will see our footprints across America, Europe, and other parts of APAC in the next few years. We have also been recognized by Gartner lately, and for our ITSM, we are being certified for our 6 processes. 4 more processes are already being verified, so it will be in total 10 processes which will be verified by Pink. So let's see the market scenario, how it is changing. So in today's world, there is a lot of digital transformation happening, which have made IT operations much complex. There is a need of high data volumes, which has encouraged the need to have on-premises data centers and on-cloud, making the IT infrastructure of a hybrid nature. This has also encouraged the increase in the number and various types of endpoint devices and applications, even microservices. The challenge faced by IT person delivering services is that there are so many different devices deployed from different vendors, and to efficiently monitor, minimum 6 to 10 different tools are required. Since there are so many different disjoint tools to monitor, there is an information silos and no holistic view of the IT infrastructure. The IT guys on an event keep maneuvering between these tools to find out the cause of failure, resulting into taking a lot of time to reach to the real cause of that event and maybe even to resolve it. Due to such complicated monitoring, it results into a very high cost of ownership and also a long downtime. So Motadata has an approach to provide a unified platform for all the events generated, such as performance event or suspicious log or changes happening in current infrastructure. These all can be captured and populated on the dashboard and the reporting tool. So Motadata gives the ease to monitor complete infrastructure, whether it is on premises or on cloud or on the same interface. This helps to immediately identify the cause of the problem and give solution or fix the problem. So let's look at the critical role of NMS and ITSM in today's complex and distributed hybrid infrastructure. So looking at the role of NMS, network monitoring system is an essential requirement for knowing the performance status of your network. Many businesses deploy network monitoring as a proactive measure to reduce network infrastructure problems, improving network performance, and increasingly employee productivity. When it comes to ongoing daily operations, network monitoring is a critical part for identifying the current load handled by a network and optimize resources accordingly. So how does it help by deploying this NMS? So it allows the administrator to know the health status of the IT infrastructure, allows the administrator to know the health status of the complete IT infrastructure. It provides information about collected data and the analysis of such raw data with provision for root cause analysis. It lets you isolate traffic problems and congestion, slowing your network to a crawl. Alert failures with related and relevant data on real-time basis. Automated and repeated tasks and troubleshooting. It gives you correlated data, helps in root cause analysis, and helps in complete SLA management. And the critical role for ITSM, implementing ITSM can streamline service delivery by leveraging automation in processes and approvals. ITSM implementation also helps in saving costs by building predictable IT organization. Implementing ITSM brings business benefits through actionable IT insights to the business that help in decision making. ITSM builds a more systematic approach in managing the life cycle of IT incidents. It ensures timely delivery of services by enforcing SLAs and providing escalations when time limits are not met. So let's look at the Motadata products. So this is the complete suite for your hybrid IT. So we have two different applications. So one which you see is the Motadata Unified ID Ops platform, and the other is the Motadata Service Ops. Motadata Unified ID Ops platform. Now it has three modules. One is the infrastructure intelligence product, that is the IIP. We have the data analytics product, that is the DAP, and we have the NCM, that is the network configuration management. So in the IIP that we look at, we can monitor all types of network devices, servers, cloud, URLs, virtual machines, applications, middleware, database, business services. In DAP, that is the data analytics platform, we can have a network flow analysis and we can retain the logs. So we are using standard and custom parsers to do this. So for example, let's take for an example where there is an application which has been developed and deployed for a specific need, and it stores logs in its own format in a different folder and does not forward the same. So we can deploy our agent and get the data parsed into a readable format and store in our database. So we are using standard protocols to discover all the elements, and then an automatic topology can be built. So to perform this, we are using the remote pollers and the agents. Our application has a role-based access. So depending on the role, the access is given into the application. To integrate with any third-party application, we use the REST APIs. The Motadata's platform is totally, the architecture is a plugin-driven architecture. So any new device or application which comes in and needs to be monitored, just a plugin can be developed and deployed immediately for monitoring of that system or application. No need to wait for major upgrades or something like that. Straight away get the plugin developed and you can start monitoring. Right, so Motadata Service Ops, that is the where you can use it as a help desk or a service desk, or even you can use it for simply asset management. So the modules that we are covering in this Service Ops is the incident, change, release, problem, knowledge, service catalog. We have the complete asset management where the complete life cycle of the asset can be maintained. We can do a workflow automation, right, for the workflows and for the approval workflows. Now, these all things can be deployed on premises, in a private cloud, or on the public cloud. So by doing this, you can get a correlation. You can also have a root cause analysis, alerts to be forwarded, and complete SLA management can be done, and some actions which are done really can be automated. So the solution, let's look at the solution capabilities. So we have a unified monitoring tool, so truly unified solution for metric, log, and traffic data. We process all sort of data in a single deployment in a hybrid environment. We give you a complete visibility and level drill down on traffic data to understand IP to IP or IP to application traffic patterns. We give you complete compliance reporting for full-fledged log analytics to manage compliance reporting. A business SLA can be made so that business service level monitoring not just limited to metrics. Ease of integration. So like I told you, we have a plugin-based architecture. So a plugin can be developed and can be deployed for new devices or new applications in the market. A complete automation can be done. So end-to-end automation to manage incident lifecycle, alarm to ticket. Let's look at the competitive advantage of Motadata. So we're giving you a virtual appliance-based solution for faster deployment, support for HA and disaster recovery without any third-party software license on premises. So you don't need any third-party license to do that. Enterprise-grade scalability can process billions of events in single deployment. Indexing-based data store gives flexibility to retain raw data for a longer period. Analytics and correlation from multiple data sources, including metric, logs, and flow data. Motadata, gives you one single ISO wherein you can have the OS, that is the Ubuntu, you can have the database, you have the complete application, everything inbuilt in one single ISO, right? So you don't have to look around for different things at different locations, and you can you can work on a commodity hardware. So this, since we are giving you the complete single ISO, it has we reduce the total cost of ownership. So let's see how IT team can be benefited from Motadata. So Motadata will give you a proactively monitor capacity and performance, network devices, such as network devices, servers, database, applications, platforms, and etc. You can automate tasks with out-of-the-box workflows and templates, streamline user requests and experiences. So let's have a look at the complete, in-depth product offering, right? So this is the IIP, that's the module in Unified IT Ops that we are talking about. So we are giving a unified monitoring platform for your hybrid IT. So you can go proactive and take actions before the issue becomes a problem with complete visibility and automated alerts. Key highlights for this platform are, we are using all types of native protocols, okay? So native protocols like PowerShell, SNMP, SSH. So PowerShell, which is there in Windows, SNMP for all SNMP devices, SSH for Linux and Unix kind of machines, JDBC for any database, JMX for Java, HTTP and HTTPS. So like these, we are using the standard protocols, the native protocols, to monitor all the devices or the elements. Since we are using the native protocols, we are a multi-vendor supported, right? So we support any vendor. We are not restricted to one vendor. Now, since we have the standard protocols and we are supporting multiple vendors, we can show all of them on one single pane or the dashboard, right? And we can also give you a drill down feature. This helps you in having a root cause with context. For that, you can troubleshoot faster. We are also giving you a topology view. That's an automated process. You can, using the standard protocols, the topology is automatically built. You can integrate your existing tools or using the REST APIs, we can do the integration. We support multi-tenancy and high scalability with RB. So multi-tenancy, maybe there's a, in IT, if you look at, there are different technicians for different levels, right? So we can have that kind of a tenancy maintained over here. And we are highly scalable using the RPs. So RP is the remote polling agents. So you can keep deploying RPs and you can keep scaling up your deployment, right? You get proactive alerts with context. So let's look at the key use cases. So what all can we monitor? So you can monitor servers, applications, IT and network availability and performance. Monitor different sites from one central location. You can have root cause analysis and correlation. You can do an SLA management. You can manage network configuration changes. You can have a look at the device health, such as disk space, CPU usage, memory usage, and etc. So let's look at the 360-degree monitoring with Moderator. When I talk about network devices, so all types of firewalls, routers, switches, all types of generic SNMP devices can be monitored. In database monitoring, it would be Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL, Sybase, then IBM DB, SAP HANA, then SQL. Virtualization monitoring, we can have VMware, Microsoft Hyper-V, OpenStack. And in URL monitoring, we can have HTTP, HTTPS, and Phantom.js. Cloud monitoring, we can do the monitoring for Amazon Web Services, Google App Engine, and Microsoft Azure. Server monitoring, all types of servers like Windows, Linux, Red Hat, HPUX, IBM AIX, right? And email monitoring, we can do SMTP, Semantic Gateway, and Exchange servers. Platform monitoring, Java and .NET. In application servers, JBoss and WebLogic. Web server monitoring, Microsoft IIS, Nginx, Apache HTTP, Tomcat. Middleware monitoring, we can monitor the Active Directory and the LDAP servers. The SD-WAN monitoring, so we support the Cisco Viptela, VMware, VeloCloud, and the Fortinet. So these are all the things that we can monitor in our NMS or the IIP section. So over 1+ billion events can be analyzed by our application in less than 10 seconds on a single server. That means, we are from day one giving you an enterprise grade application, right? So since we have our own database, we can compress the raw data 85% and retain, there can be retention for a longer period, right? Just the data, the hard disk capacity is to be maintained, and then you can have data retention for longer, maybe for years together. We don't depend on any third-party database. We have our own database, as I told you. And because of all this, we have the lowest cost of ownership, right? We have a unified system. So our NMS is a multi-vendor ecosystem. Integration, since we are a plugin driven architecture, just develop a new plugin and you can start monitoring the new devices or the applications. We are scalable both vertically and horizontally using the RPs, that is the remote polling engine. So this is just a graphical representation of the DAP, that is the data analytics platform. So as I told you, DAP has two parts. So one is the flow and the other is the log. So here you can collect and analyze log data from multiple heterogeneous sources, regardless of log data format. It also has the full text search property. So you can have network logs, you can have application logs stored, you can have server logs, custom logs. So all types of logs can be stored. In network flow, so monitor and analyze network traffic. So it can capture flow data to monitor network traffic from network devices. The protocols that we support are NetFlow version 5 and version 9, SFlow and JFlow, and IPFix. So if you use the data analytics platform, the key features for that is that you can have an end-to-end traffic monitoring. Okay, like I told you, it could be you could monitor the traffic from IP to IP, IP to application, application to IP. So end-to-end traffic monitoring can be done. You can have a centralized log management. So all your log data you can store in one central location. You can adhere to the compliance reporting. So collect log data to satisfy compliance requirement. Any device, server, application, text, you can just collect and correlate log data regardless of its format. So to do this, we can do it with the help of an agent, or you can do it agentlessly. Okay, like I told you that you can monitor bandwidth used per IP. For say that you want to find out who's the person using maximum bandwidth in your network, so you can do that, right? You can normalize all types of log data which are coming in, so and you can organize them, and also you can look at the application traffic issues that are likely to be faced. So key use cases. So normally the problems which arise are which IP address is using, or which user or which application is using the maximum bandwidth. How can you identify which unauthorized user has accessed the application? So you can identify, you can comply with government regulations on log management. You can track down suspicious activities in your network. HTTP and HTTPS traffic conversations by duration and by volume can be maintained. So that was on the NMS part. So then we move on to our ITIL compliant ITSM platform, which is the Motadata Service Ops. Now this has been certified by PINC, as I told you. So 6 processes have been certified, right? So the processes that we are following here are, we have the modules are the incident and request management. We have the problem management. We can have a change and release management. We have knowledge management, complete asset management. We also have a remote desktop feature in there. You can have a service catalog. So service catalog not only giving services on IT, you can have third party like HR or something like that. You can also integrate those services in the platform. You can have a complete contract management done or a purchase management, right? And you can have the release management. Now, one thing which you may think is missing out here is the patch management. So shortly, we are also integrating the patch management module in our this application. Okay, so let's look at the key features of the ITSM. So we can do a complete SLA management. So you can make sure that help desk is resolving tickets promptly based on the ticket priority and the criticality or the severity, right? You can have one channel that is an email to ticket. So if you send an email to that particular address, it is automatically converted into a ticket. So we have multiple multiple ways to raise the ticket. Okay, so we can do a workflow automation. So workflow empowers admin to define custom action based on specific events. Okay, so we can have the complete automation done over there. We have a feature which is the smart ticket auto assignment feature. Normally could be a manual kind of assignment feature. So wherein all the tickets which are coming in can be manually assigned to the technicians, or there could be another method of doing it as a round robin kind of a method, wherein the first ticket which comes goes to the first technician and so on, right? But we have another feature which is the smart ticketing option. So what the smart ticketing option does is it looks at the load of the technician. So how much that technician is occupied. So looking at that load, it will automatically assign a ticket to that particular technician. Also, I mean, on whether he's available or not. So automatically it will do the no manual intervention, human intervention is there. Now, to raise tickets, we have a self-service portal, which you will see before we close. So I'll show you how it looks like. Also, we have the mobile app from where you can raise tickets as a user. As a technician, you can look at all the requests which have come to you, all the events which have been assigned to you. Even if suppose you are the technician is going to a particular machine to resolve a problem, and we have a barcoding feature also available in the asset part. So you can create those barcodes or QR codes and stick them on your hardware. So once the technician is going to that hardware with the mobile app, you can just scan that barcode or QR code and then have the complete statistics of that machine. Okay. One feature which we have is a collaboration feed feature. Now what happens is that there could be some kind of tickets on which a technician is working and needs help from his colleague or a fellow technician. Could be that everybody does not know each and everything. So once he wants a kind of a help, so you can go into the collaboration feed option, and then with the help of chat, collaborate with the fellow technician, and they both can work on the same ticket. Since we have the asset management, so we can do a complete asset discovery. So automatically we can discover all the assets which are there in the deployed in the network. So not only the assets on IT assets, we can also do the non-IT assets also, right? So for the IT assets category, we'll have all the pingable assets which are there in the network. And non-IT assets, you can maintain, like you want to maintain a record of all the webcams, maybe even the furniture, immovable assets which you have. So all those can be also maintained in the asset management. Coming to the asset discovery, so we are using for all pingable IT assets, we are using again standard protocols like the WMI, SSH, and the SNMP. Okay, and as I was telling you in the earlier slides, that we also have a remote desktop feature. So in the asset, when you're looking at an asset, particular asset, So besides that, you can go and straight away just click the remote desktop option and take the remote of that particular machine. There is the this has been given because it's not necessary for a technician to jump around from one interface to another. So right from that same GUI, he can just click the button on remote desktop and take the remote. Compliance, of course, proactively track software that are installed in the process, help in compliance. So this is a partial list of our clientele, right? So different clients are there in different sections. So in BFSI, we have in enterprise, government, and OEM partner deployments. Before we go on, okay, before we go on to the case studies, I'll take you on a quick demonstration of the product. So first in line, we'll have a look at the NMS or the Motadata Unified IT Ops, okay? So this is the GUI when you come in, when you enter, when you log in. So the first thing that you see is the home page. So on the home page, you can have a complete view of your infrastructure, right? So let's look at over here. You can see the complete infrastructure health. So you can look at how many of them are in critical severity right now, how many of them are in major condition, how many of them are in warning conditions, how many are clear, how many are unreachable. You can have a complete infrastructure availability, how many of your elements are up, how many of them are in maintenance mode. Now, what happens is that suppose you know that you're going to work on a particular machine for, let's say, some kind of a switch for some upgrade or maybe a router, firmware upgrade. So the moment you bring that machine down, it is going to, start giving you alerts. So you know that this is going to be done, this process is going to be done. So you can put that particular element into the maintenance mode so that it does not generate the alerts to you. Now, there could be some equipments which, are rarely used. So what happens is once you have them rarely used, so the moment they go down, every day you will start getting alerts that they are down, or not reachable. So what we do is we put them in disabled mode. So as and when required, you can enable them and start monitoring them. So over here, you can see all types of devices, irrespective of vendor, irrespective of application, everything is being monitored over here. So you can have the exact total count, whether they are up, whether they are down, how many of them are in maintenance, how many disabled and unknown. Similarly, if you go down, so you can see the top 10 monitors by CPU usage. So you can have a list over here. You can have top 10 monitors by memory. Okay. So what are the last 6 hour alerts you can have over here? Now this entire home page and dashboard, everything. You can have a complete health statistics of all the devices that you're monitoring. You can look at the network interfaces, and also you can have a look at the Motadata health, whether Motadata is performing properly or not. Let me just expand this for you. So here you have all types of things that you can look at. So we have the dashboard, we have the topology. Let's go into the dashboard and see. So all devices that I'm monitoring are listed over here. Okay, and we have relevant data according to them. In the topology, we can have a complete, this is the auto topology which has been made. We can have a look at, you can have a bird's eye view of your complete infrastructure. So monitors, so here you can see all the monitors. Yeah. So all the events that are being generated over here. Let's look at one of them. This is a Windows machine that we are monitoring. So you can have a look at the availability, right? So from here you can see the availabilities for what duration you want to change the duration. You can go into the settings and you can change the duration over here. You have a complete on what kind of a machine it is, right? We have this for past 24 hours, how much it has been, and if any problem has arisen, you can see it over here itself. Here you can have a root cause kind of a thing made over here. So you can have a root cause of failure if there is any. Okay. So these are all the matrices you can see over here: CPU usage, you can see the disk size, how much it has been consumed, memory. So all these things you can have a look at over here itself. Coming back, so like this, it could be a switch, it could be anything that you're monitoring, everything can be seen from here itself. This is the alert stream, so you can have the alert stream, you can have the flow, log, trap, everything you can have over here. These are the alerts, so monitor alerts, so all types of alerts, what alerts are coming. You can have a look at, what are the critical ones, what are the major threshold, those who have crossed, warning threshold. You can have a look at flow and log alerts, trap alerts. We have the plugin manager, as I was telling you, that our application is totally a plugin driven architecture. So you can have a look at all the types of plugins that are there. So could be flow parsers, log collectors, log parsers, metric collectors, NCM collectors. So all our plugins, you can have a look at them over here. Business service and SLA, so you can make the business service and SLAs over here. So let's look at one of the business service like the CRM. So all related hardware and all dependencies you can have them over here. So you can see that which is connected to this particular device. So SNMP device, Linux status, Linux CPU, database, Cisco firewall status. So everything is shown over here. The next module which we saw was the NCM. So the NCM, here you can have look at the backups. Okay. For instance, let's take a look at the same machine. So, okay, this doesn't have data in it. Okay, so since I've selected these two, I can compare the two backups. So I can have, like how many total deleted lines are there, inserted lines are there, modified lines, by color you can have. So since here there is no much of a change, so there is no data, let me see if I can show you another one. Okay. Okay, so here you can see within the two backups, I can see the total modified lines for 22. When was it created? It was created on 8th March, right? This was created on 22nd March. So from this to this, there are two more lines which have been modified and 334 lines inserted. Now with the color codes, you can just visualize. Like I want to see what total number of inserted lines are there. So I can just go into that green patch area, and so these are the things which have been added. Okay, so I can just have a look at what has been done. So if I find that the particular backup which we have just taken onto some device, something changes were being done and it has gone down, I can straight away just push the older backup right from here itself. Just press the restore button and you can do it. So that is from the NCM. We have then the schedulers. You can schedule all types of reports that you want to, or the topology also, if you want to build in, like you can have a Motadata retention job, you can do a topology, you can build a topology, right? Basic reports, and then, so this is on the NMS. Now I'll quickly take you to, okay. So I'll take you to the ITSM. So ITSM, if you remember, I told you there are two types of logins in the ITSM. So in the service ops, you will have two logins. So one is for the requester. Now in our application, you can have n number of requesters. So there's no limit on the requester side. Okay. The licensing works on the technician side, and if you're opting for the asset management, then the number of assets. Okay. So let's look at, we'll log in as a requester. So once I log in as a requester, it's a very simple screen that I see. What I can see is all my requests that I have raised, past all the requests that I have raised, and what is the current status of that request. So the moment I go over here, I can have the list of all my requests and what are the status, whether in progress, closed, resolved, open. So I can have a look at over here. The second button is incident. So here I can go and create an incident. Now the forms which you see right now are totally customizable. So the admin can customize the fields, can create new fields, can make them mandatory or non-mandatory as per the requirement. Okay, so everything is customizable. Now, if you remember, I was showing you in the ITSM slide that we support, knowledge management. Now, what happens is, suppose a user is trying to create, let's create an incident on virus. So the moment I create, on the subject, I write virus, an automatic pop-up comes up over here. So it shows related knowledge. So there is a document put in by a technician to how to resolve the virus. So if it is relevant, you can just go and click, have a look at the document which has been prepared, and try to resolve your problem. If you're not able to do that, then you can just raise the ticket. Anything else, like whatever you raise, and if there is a knowledge base available, it will automatically pop up over here. Then you can, attach files for the support for the engineer, where he can have a look at what kind of a problem you're facing. Whatever you want to just attach, like garbled image, whatever the problem is related to that. If you want to put in any kind of a image, you can do that. Now, if the customer, or if they are using the asset management, you get another button over here, which is the link asset. Now, this requester who has logged in, when he clicks onto link assets, he can see all the assets which have been assigned to that particular user, right? And once he links that particular hardware, okay, so once the technician opens the ticket, he can also have a view of what actually he's going to attend to, right? So he can have a brief on the complete configuration of that particular asset. So this is how you can create the incidents. And coming back onto the main screen, so now there could be somewhere wherein a requester needs to approve something. So some technician or somebody has said that this is the problem and you need to approve it, then we'll do the changes. So, or any other kind of an approval is required. So I can look at all the approvals that I'm supposed to give over here as a requester. Now, if you remember, I had shown you one more module was there, which is the service catalog. Now, once you service catalog, if I look at, so this is the section. So not only pertaining to IT, I can, give more services to the users. Like in IT, I have shown here a laptop requisition. So if I want to, as a user want a laptop, so I can just click onto it. I can give the specifications, what I want, Suppose on the back end, there is brands already mentioned. I can select the brand of my choice. So here in this case demo, we have put in Dell and HP. So you can do that. And we have put in just to, understand what is the problem with the old laptop for which you want to, again, require a new laptop. So you can put that kind of a description and just submit the request. So it will reach to the IT department, concerned people, so that they can It will also go through the approval workflows and everything, and then it will be given for purchase. So like this, you can opt for any kind of services which have been given by the company. Like, see, we've just created for demo only that employee onboarding or offboarding. It could be, as a user, I want my visiting cards to be made, or maybe even for travel. If I want, I can put in a travel request form over here, so that I click onto that and just give the information, relevant information as per the form, and it reaches the admin department to do the needful. Okay, so suppose if you're not even raising a ticket or something, you just want to refer to the knowledge base, you can always go and refer to the knowledge base. Now, this is the portal, this is the area for the, when you log in, it's for the requester. Over here, you can see some announcements happening. So these can be also given. Like, for instance, if I want to raise a problem that I'm not able to receive and send emails, so I can see that, okay, email server is going to be down. I don't need to raise a ticket for that. Or something else what the administrator wants to just, announce. So you can have those announcements over here. Now, this requester who has logged in is also a technician. So straight away, he can go into the technician portal. So once you come into the technician portal, it is a little more, you can see more modules, more things over here. So here you can have a complete look at, this dashboard is completely customizable as per the need of that technician. So they can build it, they can just go into customize option and just customize the entire dashboard. So here, what we are seeing is open requests by status on a pie chart. How many open requests are there? How many unassigned requests are there? How many my open requests are there? Okay. So here, since this person is an administrator, he can also have a look at the open requests by the technicians. Okay. Similarly, you can also look at total hardware assets, and hardware assets by location also you can have a view of them. Okay. How many unassigned, unmanaged or managed softwares are there? How many prohibited software? So all like you want to design, you can do it. So when you come on to the second, this thing, okay. So here you have the dashboard, you have the request, the modules that you are talking about, request, incident and request, problem, change, release, asset, contract, purchase, and knowledge. So all modules are available over here. So all the requests which come in will be seen over here. You can see the subject, you can see the requester when it was created. Now, as a manual, if I want to assign this manually, I can go and assign it to which technician group I want to. Again, this is which you can customize. You can make it as per your requirement, right? And then I can go and assign to which particular technician I want to assign. Now, if you remember, I had told you that we had an auto assignment feature. So auto assignment feature also works with the technician load mechanism that we have. So if you look at this is the barcodes which you can see over here. So these bars are showing the availability or the occupant, how much the technicians are occupied. So this gentleman is in red, that means he's overloaded. He's not overloaded, but there is a load, and this person is totally free. So when you're doing it into an auto assignment into a smart ticketing option, it will look over here what kind of an load is there on that particular technician, and then assign the tickets. Okay. Now, since this is in the group, it is unassigned. That's why it is showing you so many number of technicians. But if you give it to particular, say, technician group, so you'll only see those many. So the list has cut down to only these 4 or 5. So this is how you can filter it and then assign as per the requirement. So all the requests will be here. Now, this all section was not there in the requester portal. So this is only for the technicians. So a problem can be raised by a technician only. So similar kind of problems which are coming in, and they want to work on to that, then they can raise a problem ticket and start working on them. Similarly, changes. So all the changes which have to go through, let me just open one. So all types of approvals required and everything you can see over here. So complete cycle, you can see that it has been submitted, it is into the planning stage. The planning stage is also completed, now it is lying on the approval stage. Then once from the approval, it will go into the implementation and then in review and then closed. So this is how you can have the complete change management done over here. Right now, looking at the assets, asset management, so you can have the complete hardware asset management over here. So you can have a look at all the assets, right? So let's look at one of the assets over here. So we can see what kind of a machine it is, whether it's in use or not, what is the impact, who's using it, which is the technician group which can manage it. Now coming to the information that we have fetched from the system. So you can have the complete hardware properties, computer properties, right? Like let's go on to the hardware side. I can have a look at the computer system, which work group it is belonging to, who is the manufacturer, what is the model name, all the information. This is all coming from the WMI protocol. Or if the machine is not in the same network, you can deploy the agent and then get this information. The OS, so what kind of an OS it is running onto, what is the product key, what is the license key, whether it's licensed or not, and when it was installed. Okay. Similarly, in BIOS, RAM, so suppose in this particular machine, at the time of polling or at the time of discovery, there's only one. And or maybe if you have manual entry done for some hardware which is not reachable, so you can maintain them over here. Like you can add RAM, you can add processor, whatever you want to, you can just maintain from here. Okay. Similarly, is for the software assets, you can have a complete management on the software assets that you have. Okay. And the non-IT assets. Now, non-IT assets, these are not pingable, so you need to enter them manually. Or what you can do is you can just go into the import assets and using a CSV file, you can upload the non-IT assets. If you want the sample of the CSV file, just click here, you'll get the sample ready. Right, so the moment I open the sample, I can see all the fields that are required to be filled in. Once I fill them, I can just straight away upload that file and have the non-IT assets. So you can see the non-IT assets over here. So mouse, machine one, mouse test, card, webcam, laptop chargers, right? Notepads, server racks, sofa, chair. So these are all non-IT assets. If you want to manage, you can manage them. The software licensing, you can do the software licensing management also, right? And then the software meter. Now this is very important where, that in case there are some expensive softwares being used in the organization, and there is a lot of requirement for that particular application. So you can actually go and see whether the numbers that you have purchased are actually being used or actually being used or not. So once you come onto that particular application, you have a meter over here. This is to be switched on, right? Once you do that, you can go and just have a look at the meter info. Let's take, for example, let's put it on 2020, April 1, search. So this will give you a complete, so there's no usage at all, right? Similarly, I can just go and check for all of them. And if particular that application, somebody else requires it, so this machine in which I have given this application, I can just pull it off and give it to the other person to use. Okay, so this is the use of software meter. Then we have the contract management and the purchase management. Now for purchase management, you can also go and straight away, raise a PO over here. So if it is, well integrated, so you can order the purchase order to the vendor directly from here. Okay. Then the knowledge base, where all knowledge base can be added. So this is on the modules for the ITSM, right? So coming back onto my presentation, so let's look at a few case studies. Okay, so this is one of the cases for United Arab Bank. Okay, the challenges were that they wanted to monitor all banking services and critical processes which are running on Windows, Linux, and IBM servers. The client needed a customized SMS gateway plugin that complied as per the laws of the land. Customized plugin required for legacy IBM storage and servers. Monitoring of various IT components from multiple vendors for real-time statistics, customized reports and dashboards. So this is the challenges that they had, and now they are monitoring 1,200 devices across 11 branches, right? Similarly, we have for this client, so challenges were multiple VLANs setup is there in the domain, cost configuration challenges, which the existing tool did not support. Since Spiceworks is a free tool, data accuracy was a big concern. They had custom requirements with RDP, which wasn't possible with Spiceworks. So these are the challenges, and the total assets that are being managed is 450. Total software is being managed is over 6,000. Okay, and vendors which are being managed is 12 plus. Similarly, this is for Emirate Healthcare. So they are using, their 1,200 assets are being done by the ITSM, and they have 20 technician licenses. So that's it from my side. So back to you, Fanky.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Asu. So many things about the products ya. Jadi Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan sekalian, ini sudah banyak pertanyaan yang masuk ya. Nanti saya minta bantuan Pak Wewe ini untuk mengassist kita di sesi Q&A. Wewe, please assist us in Q&A session.
Just hold on. Is Vishal there in this call?
Oh wait, Wewe. Wewe monitor.
Yeah, Vishal is already there. Hi, Vishal. Fanky, I'll just, Vishal is there.
Yeah, so I'm here. I'm here, Anshul. No worries. Fanky, go ahead.
Wewe. Wewe. Wewe, apakah monitor, Wewe? Okay. So we got a lot of questions Asul ya. Okay, let me try the first question from Pak Arif Janudin. For collection data, for collection log or data, whether Motadata needed an agent for client, Linux and Windows. Second question, for the correlation, what method can be used for indexing log data, whether use regex, JSON, XML, etc. Okay. Want to answer, Ansul or Vishal?
Yeah, Vishal, are you taking this question?
So I think first question was Fanky about the log collection. So how we, going to parse all those logs, right? So basically, yes, we are taking both the approaches, agentless and agent-based approach for collecting and parsing all those logs. So both the options for log monitoring is available in Motadata solution. Okay. And I think second question was, if you can just repeat again.
the correlation, what method can be used for indexing log data, whether using regex, JSON, XML. What
Yeah, I
method?
think,
Yeah.
yeah, Anshul, I think can answer this.
Sorry, again, could I have that question, please?
For the correlation, what method can be used for indexing log data, whether use regex, JSON, XML.
For that, we'll get back to you on that because we'll have to take it from the architecture team, and then we'll get back to you on that question.
Oh, okay. Wewe, are you there already? Wewe? Oh, Wewe belum masuk juga ya, masih problem di Zoom-nya. Oke, the second question, Pak Arif, apakah tadi kira-kira menjawab pertanyaannya?
Ya, halo Pak.
Ya.
Tadi yang nomor 2 tuh kurang jelas ya mengenai untuk parsing log datanya tuh menggunakan regular expression apa? Ya.
Nanti pertanyaan teknisnya akan dijawab menyusul ya Pak. Tadi jawabannya begitu.
Oke.
Nanti kita kirimkan email terpisah.
Oke, terima kasih Pak.
Ya, makasih Pak Arif. Berikutnya dari Pak Rusdiansyah, Putra Gaya Wahana. Can this unified monitoring platform can detect the problem from a specific application? For example, whether this is because the infrastructure, the network, or the query of the application. What do you think, Anshul or Vishal? Hello?
Yeah, so I think, Frankie, in terms of application monitoring, okay, so what what is the feasibility in Moderator is, so for example, consider there is an application of JBoss or JMX, okay, so what we do, we can monitor the availability of that particular application, okay, so whether that particular application is up or down, okay, it is running or not. So that kind of feasibility right now in the existing version is available. But when we talk about the end-to-end application performance monitoring, that is not available as of now, because that is going to be coming in the new version that we are going to release in a couple of months. Okay. So we are coming up with the new version 8.0, wherein we will be releasing the pure application performance monitoring, wherein we will be doing all the synthetic and transaction monitoring along with the AI and ML functionality. So definitely that is going to come within a couple of months in the 8.0 release.
Yeah, I think the question more also about the can you point the root cause?
Yeah, so that's what I mean to say. Like, we can, in the current version, obviously it's not available. When once the APN is launched in the couple of months, then we can obviously identify the root cause and when the issue was occurred. Okay, so we will be able to do that.
Okay, good. Kira-kira menjawab ya Pak Rusdiansyah ya. Oke, berikutnya pertanyaan dari Pak Agus Sudana. How Motadata can interface or monitor with the currently network hardware such as Cisco? Anshul?
Yeah, so for Cisco, we already, as I told you, we are using all standard protocols. Okay, so we can discover and all Cisco devices, and then they can be populated in our NMS for monitoring purposes.
Yeah,
even
so
in case of topology, when we talk about topology building, so we are using the CDP, that's the Cisco Discovery Protocol, right? So in case of logs, we are using the NetFlow version 5 and 9, right? So they are all Cisco proprietary protocols. So we are using all those protocols. Yes, go ahead, Vishal.
Yeah, basically to add to Anshul's reply to these questions, basically as we previously mentioned in the PPT itself, so Motadata monitoring system is basically a plugin driven architecture we are following. Okay, so all the well-known vendors available in the market, including Cisco. We do have a plugin available. So any system, any device for the Cisco, we do follow the native protocols and can be added and discovered in Motadata, and all the KPIs and metrics of particular vendor also can be fetched. Okay, and obviously, if there is new device in the market with new vendor, that can also be monitored within 6 to 7 business working days with Motadata. So definitely Cisco devices performance monitoring and log monitoring also can be monitored with Motadata by following different kind of protocols.
Yeah. Oke, apakah menjawab Pak Agus Sudana?
Yes, thank you.
Ya, thank you Pak. Oke, berikutnya the next from Pak Fikri Subhan. Is there any method? Is there any method? Wait ya. Is there any method that focus on monitoring and performance management of application? I think it's more on the application management or application monitoring, yeah, to detect and to know the problem of the application in the cloud. Yeah. Do you want to answer, Vishal?
Yeah, I think basically they are talking about the pure application performance monitoring. Okay,
yes,
where we can track the end-to-end starting from the application to the entire transaction, what time that particular application is taking from reaching one destination to other destination. Okay, so that I think they are talking about the end-to-end traffic monitoring, performance monitoring solutions, solution for that particular application. So definitely it's going to be available with Motadata 8.0 version within a couple of months.
Oke. Pak Fikri, apakah menjawab?
Sudah, Pak.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Fikri. Berikutnya Pak Yong Ong ya bertanya, is Motadata monitoring network devices only monitoring? Can you detect the attacks? I mean I think the network attacks, yeah. If not, can be implement or combined with the third-party software with other than Motadata? Asal Vishal.
So basically, let me just understand the question. So what is the question is like, obviously, along with the performance monitoring of all the network devices, can we, I think, do the security monitoring as well, right?
Yeah, can you detect the attack, yeah?
Detect the attack, yes. Okay, yeah. Understood. So see, Motadata monitoring system is basically for the infrastructure performance monitoring. Okay, it's not a SIEM solution. So SIEM solutions, security solutions are kind of a different platforms. Okay, so whatever solution is capable is for basically we can, for example, there is one network devices, so we can monitor them. We can give the information how that particular device is performing within your network. Okay, so it's not a solution which can detect the security threats. Okay, so basically for that obviously they need to go into pure SIEM solution. Okay, so this kind of a platform, yes, of course, if you want to integrate with any other third-party application, the integration feasibility is obviously there. We have our publicly available REST API. So by exposing our APIs, the third party can collaborate and make a handshake with each other, and integration could be possible with it.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is also related to the second question. Is Motadata can be used as a pen test tool or the forensic tools? Yeah, if there are any attack.
Yeah, it's the same kind of a question.
Yeah.
As useful.
Okay, the third question. A few, I think few months ago, yeah, there's a tools monitoring with the initial. I think you know the SW that has been attacked by the the fraud attack. Yeah. Is there any how the Motadata can prevent something like this. Vishal or Anshul?
Yeah, so I think, Fanky, these last couple of questions are basically regarding the threat detection and identification if there is a threat is going to come into my network or not. Okay, so Motadata is not basically for the security platform. Okay, where it can't identify any of the attacks is going to be happen in my network. Okay, it's basically can monitor if there is a data center and if you have an infrastructure in your hand in your organization. Okay, so what we could be able to understand, okay, like if there is going to be a breach in the network, whatever alerts that you have defined. Okay, for example, if server specs are going from 80 to 90%, and if you want that alert to be created in your dashboard, that alert can be given by Motadata, but it can't automatically detect like, okay, this is going to be the attack into this particular server. Okay, so for that security, security and threat detection, obviously there is another solution for SIEM solution, and along with our log management also that can be fulfilled.
Yeah, I think Vishal, this is not about the. This is, I think we know the problem with the some of the other monitoring tools, in this case is SolarWind. The SolarWind has been
Right.
taken. Yeah. So, is there any preparation or the is there any, is it will be happen also with the Motadata or not?
So
How you
right
secure?
now,
Yeah.
So right now, when we talk about focus in terms of this segment, monitoring segment, right now we are focusing on doing digital. We are going to focus on artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, so we are basically planning how to make our system automated in the specs of network monitoring, log monitoring, and flow monitoring. Okay, so we are not planning as of now to go into the security segment as of now within this particular year. That of course we are established in the AI and ML functionalities. Obviously, we have planned to go into the security segment as well.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's the issue that we have now, with the other software also. They need to secure the access, Okay, the fourth question is Motadata support on premise or cloud, because some applications is already put it in the cloud. What is the licensing mechanism?
So right now we have on-premise approach, okay, in terms of deploying our solution. But also if there is an option, if any of the client wants to install on their private cloud or public cloud, that can also be possible. But we do not have the SaaS version, software as a solution, platform. But we are obviously, as I previously mentioned, as of now we are focusing on the on-premise and the cloud-based deployment, but the SaaS version is not available. So once we will launch in a couple of months about AI and ML solution, then definitely we are gonna think about the SaaS solution. But on-premise deployment can be possible in both the solution, ITSM and network monitoring, both.
Ya. Oke, itu 4 pertanyaan dari Pak Yong. Apakah menjawab kira-kira Pak Yong? Oke, berikutnya saya masuk ke Pak Denny Rizky ya. Pak Denny Rizky. Ansul or Vishal?
We could not hear because your voice and image both got stuck.
Any questions, Fanky?
About the feature of the remote desktop in the service operation, is there any features like a remote desktop in the service?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in service ops asset management solution, we have a feature, RDP feature, wherein whenever one particular Windows or Linux machine, Okay. After discovering that particular Windows or Linux machine, you will get an option to take a remote of that particular machine. Okay. So you can take the remote, you can record the session of that particular remote as well. So yes, the RDP functionality, remote taking functionalities for Windows and Linux machines are available, along with the QR codes and barcodes as well.
Ya. Oke. Itu ya Pak, ini ya, Pak siapa tadi, Pak Denny Rizky ya yang bertanya ya. Apakah menjawab?
So just to support what Vishal said,
Yeah.
so if you go into the hardware assets, so these are the ones which are already discovered, right? So let's look at this asset. Now I have an option over here. I hope you're able to see. So you can see this is the remote desktop option is available. So the hardware from which you want to, this is why we link, when we link assets, and if you want, you can just, come over here, go to the hardware assets, open the asset, go into this particular area, and just click onto the remote desktop. So it will be automatically, you can take the remote over here in the this thing browser itself. You don't have to leave the browser also.
Oke. Clear ya Pak ini ya, Pak Denny Rizky ya. Pak Denny Rizky ya. Oke, saya selanjutnya beralih ke pertanyaan selanjutnya, Pak Novianto Wijaya. Tadi sepertinya sudah dijawab. Motadata is on premise currently. Skema lisensi, the licensing scheme depends on the product ya. I think Vishal can just brief the licensing scheme again. Yeah.
So Motadata licensing is basically depends on the kind of product that you are looking for. Okay, so since we have multiple modules and couple of products available, so I'll explain all the modules and licensing policy with you so you can understand better. So we'll first go with the service of solution, which is our ITSM platform. So it is very simple. If you are looking for a help desk or service desk solution, then it is based on number of technicians or agents that are gonna work on resolving the tickets. Okay, so for ITSM or ticketing system, it is based on number of technician license that you require. And also, if you are looking for asset management solution, then for asset management, it is based on number of assets that you want to manage. Okay. So this is for the ITSM part. Now, second, when we talk about the monitoring system, data network monitoring system, it is if you only want to monitor the performance monitoring. So monitoring of all your network devices and other infrastructure can be managed with our IIP solution, which is our infrastructure intelligent platform. Okay, so for that, it is very simple. It is based on number of devices that you want to monitor. Okay, so for IIP, which is our monitoring system, it is based on number of devices or monitors. So for example, consider you monitor 3 network devices such as switch, routers, and firewall, 1 server, and 1 any application. Then it's 1-to-1 ratio. So you total require 5 licenses for monitoring. And all the ports, all the sensors available in that particular equipment can be monitored. It's unlike other devices. Okay, so other competition charges based on sensors or ports or something, but we are basically very standard. It's based on number of devices. For log monitoring and flow monitoring, which is our DAP solution, data analytical platform, it is based on per GB per data that you want to process. Okay, so for example, it's how many GB of data that a system is taking, and how many GB of logs that you want to forward and monitor. It's based on that. So it could be 2 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB. So it depends. So for that, we have a calculation set wherein you just put a number and we will get, recommend you how many GB of data that you will require. Okay. So this is our licensing option for calculating the pricing. And when we talk about, options, we have 2 options available, annual and perpetual both as per the industry standard. So annual is obviously needs to be renewed every year, and perpetual is a one-time investment in licensing. You need to pay just a minimum cost for the renewal for AMC and getting the support from second year. So this is about license.
Oke. Oke, kira-kira Pak Novianto apakah sudah clear? Silakan Pak Novianto, apakah sudah clear? Ada beberapa rekan-rekan yang lain juga bertanya soal licensingnya ya. Tadi sudah disampaikan. Jadi IIP modelnya by IP device, DAP by gig, kemudian yang terakhir ITSM by technician dan jumlah aset ya. Oke, selanjutnya Pak Mawardi nih, cukup banyak pertanyaan nih ya Pak Mawardi. Pak Mawardi asking for Mr. Ansul. It can be said that this Motadata cover all the software platform used for the security side to the network infrastructure, and we are still using on-premise and want to migrate. What we should be prepared during the migration process? How long does it will take? Do you want to answer, Ansul or Vishal?
So they are what they mean to say is basically they are maybe using a security platform, okay, and they probably want to shift that particular solution through other or Motadata solutions. So can Motadata get all the migration data from that particular device to our existing system, right?
Yeah, one of the.
Yeah, but for that actually we need to have a better discussion in terms of understanding what kind of a solution they are using, what kind of an requirements they have, and what all data they want to migrate in. So once we understand the scope, once we understand what is their proposal, then obviously we will be able to propose them the perfect fit solution along with the proper resolution.
Yeah.
So then we can't answer it right now.
Okay. Another question from Pamawadi about the dashboard. Can we customize the dashboard, or can we connect it with other application in the dashboard?
Yeah, so all the dashboards for Motadata NMS and ITSM. So we do have predefined dashboards available. So more than 44 plus predefined dashboards are already available in the system. But if any of the client wants to customize those particular dashboards, then obviously that customizable dashboard option is obviously available in the solution in both in the NMS and ITSM, both the solution, wherein based on the requirement of a client, based on their expectation, we can create the customizable dashboards and show it to them. And if we talk about if those dashboards can be displayed in the another solution or not, so for that we have a REST APIs available for both the solution, so wherein the third party can integrate it and can fetch all the dashboards information into the third their particular custom display. So that is also feasible.
Yeah.
Just to add on to that, even as per the user, the people, those who are logging in, technicians can have their own dashboards made. So it's not particularly for one dashboard is there across all the technicians. So each technician can have his own kind of a dashboard as per the information that he requires. Because technicians will be, made as per their rules and their role in the organization. So if they want only relevant data to be there on the screen, that is 100% customizable.
Yeah. Okay. Another question from Pamawardi is there any specification for the Motadata application? How much specification or memory that will be needed for this application?
Yeah, I would take that. Just give me a second. I have a sheet ready for that, so I'll just show it to you. Just
So I think for starting, if you wanted to just try and install the Motadata for evaluation purpose, I think it is required basically 4 GB, RAM, 8 GB memory. I think this is enough by starting for evaluation, and then after, obviously, it depends on the number of sizing that you are looking for, number of devices for monitoring that you are considering. Based on it, we can recommend appropriate hardware requirements to you to prepare, and accordingly we can deploy our solution. But obviously it is not on the higher side. Obviously this is just the minimum requirement that we require to implement our solution. So we do recommend any of the client whenever they need any kind of specific requirements that they have. Accordingly we suggest them the sizing or hardware requirements. But obviously for evaluation purpose, it is 4 GB RAM, 8 GB memory is, I think, required. Am I correct, Anshu?
Absolutely. So exactly that is what I was trying to show it to them. So if you look at this is for the bare minimum requirement for the NMS. If you look at, so we need a physical server, that's a bare metal ISO. Okay, supported hypervisors we have already given. So if you look at the configuration, the CPU is 8 core and 64 bit, and RAM required minimum is 8 GB, and storage is 200 GB. Now this is, as Vishal said, the basic requirement. Now we do have, once we look at how many elements are going to be, or how many events are going to be generated. So according to that, we will decide on what is the hardware requirement, which is there for the, like this is for the NMS, and I can also show it to you for, just give me a second. So this is for the ITSM. You can see bare minimum requirement, would be, what we suggest is 4 core 8 GB and 100 GB. So this is as per, like Vishal was saying, it depends on the sizing. So this is like for 5 concurrent technicians login and 1,000 requests per day. Okay, and that is for help desk. If you look at for service desk, the bare minimum is 5 technician logins, concurrent ones, and request per day is 500. So if you look at 4 core CPU and 8 GB is the bare minimum that is required.
Okay. Oke, berikutnya the next question from Pak Rusdiansah, Pak Bagas Rudi also talking about the licensing scheme. I think already discussed. Pak Bagas Rudi asking about the support. Is there any 24-hour support from the Motadata?
Yes, yes, Fanky. So we do have options for the offshore support from our end. So we have multiple options. One is 8x5 support, wherein you will get a support 8 hours and 5 days, Monday to Friday. We do have a support 8x7, wherein you get 8 hours support and all the 7 days. And also we do have 24x7 support, wherein you can get a support all the 24-hour and all the 7 days, of course. So we do have a support team who works in different timings. Okay, so all our support members will be available all the time whenever you are getting the 24/7 support. So yes, all the options based on the requirement is available.
Okay. Okay, I think the next question is from Pak Eko Purwanto ya. Pak Eko Purwanto, how can Motadata can be used for monitoring database such as Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, IBM DB2, and other databases? How can the admin know the problem before the problems occurs? Yeah. Anshul or Vishal, please.
Anshul.
Okay, so the standard protocol used for database is the JDBC. So that is the protocol that we are using to monitor all the databases. So I had given you the examples of the databases that we can, we are able to monitor. So just give me a second, I'll again bring back that slide. Sure. So database monitoring, so all types of Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL, Sybase, PostgreSQL, IBM DB, SAP HANA. So all are supported, and the standard protocols are always there that we are using to monitor the database.
So can we set an alert on any of the database is going to breach or something so that we can identify the issue, Anshul?
Yeah. So when we are doing this database monitoring, we can always have an alert on what is the problem going to arise, so we can have that alert developed.
Yeah.
So I think, Fanky, I hope you got the answer, right?
Ya, ya. Oke, Pak Eko, gimana pertanyaannya? Sudah terjawab? Oke, saya lanjut dulu ya, karena masih ada beberapa pertanyaan nih. Pak Made Agus Pranata. Hi Ansul, if any change requested, I think it's more on the ITSM product nih. If any change requested creates that need approval to admin, then need how many time needed for approval if on any request change? Yeah.
So
I think it's approval, yeah.
So that is firstly what we want to know is about the approval workflow. So approval workflow can be created on changes, and whatever level you want, it can be created on. And once in the approval, we can have different types of methods of getting the approval done. Could be on unanimously, could be on you need. Just let me open that page for you.
Yeah.
Second. So this is the admin panel which is there. So you can have all types of approval workflows made over here. So whether it is for any module, it could be for request, for problem, for change, for release, asset, and anything, right? So all types of workflows can be created over here. You can add conditions, right? And you can add stages. So like this, you can have a unanimous kind of a decision type or a majority or anyone. And then you can set approvers over here. Maybe onto, like it says, you can add, stages. So it could be stage 1, stage 2, stage. You can go up to 5 stages like this. So where you can, opt for approvals. Does that answer your query?
Oke. Bagaimana Pak Made Agus? Menjawab kira-kira?
Understood, Pak. Sudah, Pak.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Made. Oke, berikutnya the next question is about the asset management. The asset management get the details of how the asset management can get the detailed data of our asset, install agent or not. What if the computer is reinstalled? Is there any impact to the asset management information? Ansul?
Okay, so 2 things. Both have been, asked for. First is, let's talk about without using an agent. So we use the WMI protocol for getting information from the machines. Like I had given you the protocols, WMI for Windows, SSH for Linux. So these are the protocols which will agentlessly bring all the information onto our portal. Now, second is agent-wise. Yes, there could be some, machines which are not in the same network or in the same domain. So we can have the agents installed and we can get information from them. So both agently and with the agent and without agent, we can get the information. Now, coming to the another part of what was asked was, what happens if the machine is formatted. Okay. Now, once it has been formatted, then if it is in the same network, we are doing it agentlessly. So next time when the scan happens, automatically it will come back, or you can just scan it and then bring it back into the system. So again, would like to share my screen. So if I go back into this, we have the asset discovery over here. So the discovery can be done, using credentials, can be done through network scan, can be done through domain scan, DNS configuration, or by the agents. So if there is an agent deployed, see, if you completely format and if that machine is using an agent, you lose that agent. But next time you may have to install it. But if it is a WMI and it is, you can run from the credentials or the network scan, it can automatically be populated in the hardware assets. So that I think so. Have I answered the query?
Oke, itu jawabannya Pak Bagas Rudi. Apakah menjawab? Oke, ya, Pak Rudi menjawab. Oke, the last question from Pak Randy Julianto. Can Motadata support the ubiquity network monitoring? Ubiquity devices, ya.
So ubiquity, it basically depends on what protocol is it following. Is it any network devices? And if it is following the SNMP protocol, then obviously we can discover that particular ubiquity device as well into the Motadata solution. So depends on what kind of one protocol it is supporting, and based on it, we can discover it in Motadata. And of course, if it is not supporting the native protocols that we have, then obviously we can develop such kind of a plugin as well.
Okay.
Actually, the strength of our application is that we are using the plugin architecture, right? So for the ones which are not performing or which are not adhering to the standard protocols, and you need a plugin to be developed for that, we can always do that, and you can just deploy it immediately and start monitoring those devices.
Okay. Ya, jadi harusnya bisa ya Pak Randy ya. Moga-mogahan clear ya. Oke, Pak Mawardi, the last question. Okay, sorry ya, the last question ya Pak Mawardi ya, about the asset management platform. Can we use to integrate with the data in our warehouse with they need to detect the incoming, outgoing items ya.
Okay, so what happens is, as you see in all the assets that have been discovered and put in, we have a QR code and a barcode kind of a thing developed. So once it is, if you have a mechanism where when it is leaving out, you can scan and then find out. Or what else is that if you want, we can try to integrate it with your this thing. You must be having a this thing scanner or something on the exit gate, so we can look at it. We can integrate with that also. No issues.
Ya. Oke. Pak Mawardi jangan khawatir ya, karena kami pun juga pernah implementasi Motadata Asset Management System menggunakan QR Code. Oke, nanti kita bisa bahas, Pak Mawardi bisa dikontak oleh tim kami untuk detailnya. Oke, kita lanjut dulu karena sudah hampir jam 4. Kita sebelum masuk ke pembacaan 3 orang yang akan mendapatkan door prize OVO dari Yesi nanti ya, silakan kita foto bersama dulu ya. Silakan aktifkan videonya. Ansul, Vishal, we will taking picture together first. Ya, silakan aktifkan videonya, kita foto bersama dulu. Nah, ini mantap ini hadir semua ya. Banyak hal sharing. Sorry ya, memang produknya cukup banyak, jadi waktunya hampir 2 jam nih kita bersama nih ya. Tapi Tapi anyway ini senang sekali karena memang banyak yang kita ini ya pelajari. Oke, foto dulu bersama. Novi bisa bantu? Silakan aktifkan videonya semua, kita foto dulu bersama. Tolong di capture ya. Siapa yang capture? Novi capture?
Saya Pak, ya Pak.
Ya, silakan.
Tunggu ya Pak, ini masih belum ada tuh. Oh Ibu Norma udah. Bentar. Oke, yang halaman pertama dulu ya. 1, 2, 3. Bentar. Bentar. Belum, tunggu ya. Yang halaman 2 siap-siap dulu. Oke, 1, 2, 3.
Halaman 3.
Oh iya, sebentar, ada satu lagi ya. 1, 2, 3. Oke, Pak.
Oke, baik. Oke, sekarang saya serahkan ke Bu Yesi, sales manager kita untuk menyampaikan 3 orang pemenang yang mendapatkan OVO pada kegiatan kita sore kali ini. Silakan.
Baik, Pak Fanky, terima kasih. Terima kasih juga buat Bapak Ibu yang telah hadir pada webinar kita hari ini. Buat Mr. Ansel juga terima kasih sudah menjawab beberapa pertanyaan yang masuk banyak banget ya. Dan dari pertanyaan Bapak Ibu, kita sudah pilih untuk 3 orang pemenangnya itu adalah 1, Pak Rusdiansa.
Hadir nggak Mas ini, Pak Rusdiansa nih?
Pak Rusdiansa masih hadir nggak?
Masih hadir tuh, di chat doang jawabnya. Coba suaranya Pak.
Boleh Pak suaranya Pak, kalau misalnya enggak kita ganti nama yang lain.
Gak ada mic. Oke. Iya. Oke.
Oke, next Bapak Bagas Rudi. Hadir Pak Bagas?
Pak Bagas tadi masih ada. Pak Bagas
hadir Pak, alhamdulillah hadir Pak.
Siap.
Terima kasih.
Next pemenang ketiga itu adalah Pak Eko Purwanto.
Ada Pak Eko
Hadir
Purwanto?
Pak Eko?
Hadir. Oh, Pak Eko bisa suaranya ada? Oh, itu ada orangnya.
Kongres ya buat Bapak pemenang pada hari ini. Buat pertanyaan Bapak Ibu yang masih belum terpilih, nanti ada webinar kita next. Kita tunggu. Dan jika Bapak masih ada pertanyaan ke kita, nanti bisa dibantu sama kita next. Selesai event ini, tim saya, Yesi, Nopi, akan follow up Bapak. Gitu sih. Terima kasih.
Oke. Ansul or Vishal, the closing remark. Your closing remark, please.
Yeah. Yes. First of all, thank you so much, Fanky and team, for arranging such a wonderful session. It was wonderful talking to you guys. You guys were so warming. It was wonderful, talking to you. We had a wonderful interaction with all the participants as well. Very highly qualified questions we have received from each and every, participants out of this webinar. So I thank everybody, joining of this particular webinar as well. So please let us know your feedback. We would like to interact with you, everyone, more often than not, so we can plan and improve our webinar sessions in the coming days and coming sessions. Okay. So thank you so much, Fanky. Thank you, team. Thank you, everyone, participants, for joining in. If you still have any other further questions, do get in touch with our partner, Daya Sipcha. Obviously, they will get in touch with us and we will try to answer all your concerns and queries. Okay. So thank you so much.
Ansul, you want to add something? Yeah.
Thank you, Fanky, for this wonderful organizing this wonderful webinar for us and allowing us to have the interaction with you all guys. We are there to support you for all things. So looking forward for that. And that's all from our side. We thank you once again for inviting us on this session. Just one thing last I would like to say is be safe, In this pandemic, we have got to be safe and remain safe. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Oke, thank you Ashnul and Vishal ya from Motadata team. Jadi Bapak Ibu nantikan terus kegiatan-kegiatan kita selanjutnya. Kita masih ada beberapa kegiatan. Besok pun juga ada kegiatan. Silakan register segera untuk bisa membahas tentang banyak hal ya. Untuk event kita selanjutnya bisa lihat di website kami atau di eventcerdas.com atau dayaciptamandiri.com. Tetap sehat, tetap semangat. Kali di acara kami selanjutnya. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu rekan-rekan. Ya. Thank you Vishal, Ansul.
Thank you
everyone.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Ya Kak Fit. Ya, thank you.
Good day.
Terima kasih semua.
Thank you.